Some nerdy news.
Yes.
We've got a spattering
Quite a
of
bit.
things here.
Yeah, quite a bit.
We like our nerdy news diverse, and I think that's exactly what we've got this week. So this first bit of news is kind of a two-parter, and I'm going to be a bit pessimistic
Oh.
and say that this quote was a setup because she knew what the new trailer was going to be like. But we'll get into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Florence Pugh has said that the tone of Thunderbolts is like what you would expect from an A24 film. Quote, quite badass indie A24 feeling assassin movie with Marvel heroes. And then like 2 days later we got a new like 1 minute Thunderbolts trailer where, and it was quite cool in all fairness, they flexed all of like the A24 and like more indie people involved in the project, flexing like their sound editor and their cinematographer, which are not the people who normally get shout outs in a trailer.
Well, and also, I mean, we kind of got a bit of this with Captain America's trailer, where it was like that trailer was edited in not your usual MCU style. This trailer, like I ended up watching it like more than once because I was like, it just, as a creative person, it was so cool to get a Marvel trailer in a completely different style than they've ever done.
I feel
And
like for a long time, Marvel trailers felt like they'd had like a pre-made template and they just dropped the
yeah,
footage into it.
yeah, and it also just was like they got very overtelling of what would happen in the film sort of issue. This has a completely different, like it has that A24 more indie-esque film. It has like a young editor, like a mod, like these young editors on TikTok sort of vibe. I love the vibe. It helps sell this vibe of the film being a bit more playful and indie. And yeah, I think her interview, like that's calculated.
Not an accident.
No, this is Marvel we're talking about. They know what they're doing with PR. The interesting things from the trailer that caught my eye is we get a clone of Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah, I imagine that's just like a once they're within the void, they
Okay,
will have to confront like their darkest fears, and
possibly.
her is her if she never left the Red Room.
Got you. And that was like, okay, what's going on there? And then obviously, the big thing of you even sent me a thing of being like, Taskmaster, like they credit each of the heroes except Taskmaster.
No, I know we joked about no one's been as dead as Foggy Nelson. No one in the history of moving pictures on a screen has ever been as dead as Taskmaster.
Yeah, but like, I get it. I agree. It is so. But what confuses me is like, it's one thing having like they've only shown one specific scene and we always see him and we don't see him in any other scenes. But like to not even credit them, there's something like I feel that's also playing into whatever the fuck this asterisk is. There's some big there's mystery with this film that is very intriguing because it's not very Marvel. But yeah, really cool trailer. And I do,
It was.
if people haven't seen it, you should go watch it because it will
Absolutely.
maybe get you hooked on wanting to see this film.
Yeah. Oscar winners Adrian Brody and Leonardo DiCaprio are considered teaming up to star in Damien Chazelle's Evel Knievel biopic.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know this isn't the thing we normally cover, but it felt like such a auto-generated bullshit tweet and like news article that I just had to shine a light on it. Because what do you mean? And also, how do they both star in the film? As far as I'm aware, there's only one Evel Knievel.
Well, yeah, but you're going to have like Evel Knievel and his trainer or something. Or like his manager.
Surely that's
or
not
like...
teaming up to star, like, do you know what I mean? But I can't remember the last time that two people who've won Oscar for Best Actor have like kind of gone, we want to work together on a thing.
It's such an interesting choice of what they want to work on as well. Like, I mean,
this script has got to be phenomenal, no?
Or they're just like we all, like, as kids, we knew Evil Knievel as like, oh, it's the stunt guy.
Mm,
Like, that's kind of the expanse of my knowledge of who Evil. He jumped over things on a bike, like, like. So I don't know. Maybe they also his childhood things were like, oh, Evil Knievel's this
yeah,
cool stunt guy. Oh, we can make a film about
maybe.
him.
Maybe. And biopics are all the rage for like awards now, aren't they? So
Yeah,
maybe that's
true.
part of it. Hans Zimmer has revealed that in the past he's been approached about doing a score for the MCU. It was always that the timing wasn't great, and he said that he's looking for other things now, as he's already done the superhero trifecta as a reference to the Nolan Batman
Mm-hmm.
trilogy. Um, I enjoy a lot of Hans Zimmer's scores. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think his music would have really elevated or worked with any particular MCU film that well. Maybe something like Endgame.
I was gonna say Endgame, like those two final ones would have been, and I imagine that's probably what he's talking about, and the timing didn't work because he was probably working on other stuff.
Yeah. But
Um,
interesting to know that the MCU has nearly landed so many big people for different things in the past, and it's just never lined up. You do wonder how different things might have been had some things gone different ways.
yeah.
Maybe it was like The Dark World he was going to do the score for, and maybe it would have been a better film if he'd done the score. Who knows? Um, Helen Richardson is once again proclaiming his desire to play Spider-Man. This time
Spider-Man?
claiming,
You mean Batman?
sorry, Batman. Imagine him
Alan
as
Richardson.
Spider-Man. Look better as Venom, for fuck's sake. Alan Richardson is once again proclaiming his desire to play Batman, claiming you wouldn't even have to pay me.
James Gunn.
So here's my thing, right? You know I love Alan Richardson.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I also do think he would do a good Batman.
Hmm.
I feel like there's probably something better for him. I don't know what, but I feel like there's something better for him.
It's tough because, like you, I would more than happily see him as Batman,
Oh, if
and I
they
think,
cast him, I'm gonna just be like, okay, I'm down to give this a chance.
yeah, I feel like I think he could do a great job. It's yeah, it's that question of is there a better thing for fit for him? Should DC pick someone who's not like such a big name currently?
Hmm.
Like, should they lean into someone who is maybe not necessarily like a big name, but is a really good fit for the Batman? Like, we don't know. We have jokingly said he does fit the silhouette that we were shown in Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
So,
The big thing is, since he stopped playing Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State, great show by the way. Go watch that if you ever want to convince yourself, or find out why he's such a diversely good actor.
hmm,
He's had a beard for ages now.
hmm,
For me to be sold on the idea of him as Bruce Wayne, I need him to shave the beard nice and clean and put on a suit to sell me on the idea that he can do Bruce Wayne. I
reaches
know
season
he can
4.
do Batman, but I need to know for a fact he can do Bruce Wayne.
We'll see it in Reacher season 4.
Maybe, maybe. But one to keep an eye on, the man's fighting for this role, and with the popularity of Reacher, it might be enough to turn heads.
And saying you don't have to pay me. James Gunn might be like, I've got it in writing.
Yeah, that is legally binding. Netflix plans to spend 18 billion on content in 2025, so at least them subscription hikes are worth it, right?
So how? So is what? Is that?
That's just renewing Friends for one season.
Well, no, I was going to say 18 billion. That's a lot of shows for just one.
To cancel.
Just season one. Like, how many season ones can they make with 18
They're going to
billion?
make so many season ones, more season ones than anyone in the world. The best season ones, some may say. They'll be like, can we have season 2? No, more season 1s.
Honestly,
The problem is, right, I have no frame of reference over how much they spent over the last few
currently,
years to see
yeah.
if this is improvement. And they haven't said that's on
New
new
shows,
content
yeah.
that they are making. This is just 18 billion on content. That is going to cover all of the shows that I know I joked about, oh, that were new Friends for 1 year, but that would cover like renewing shows that they've had exclusivity
Well, yeah, like,
for.
I talked about at the beginning of the episode about watching Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive. There's the Full Swing, the golf one. I think there's another. I want to say there's a tennis one. Like those
Yeah.
are all done by the same production studio, but they're gonna get renewed every year because they're great for their. That's great for their subscriptions. Also, if Riot does another, like, I mean, all of that could go on the next Arcane, whatever Riot makes.
So just to be clear, starting from January, Netflix became the distributor for WWE,
Right.
and that cost $5 billion.
Well,
I believe
there's
that was a 5-year deal. I believe it might have
so
only been
billion
3.
a
I can't
year.
remember exactly. So that's like a fifth of their budget on something I'm not going to watch a single second of. To put it in context.
Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe they're gonna
Like,
bring out something that is actually good again.
exactly. And I love to hate on Netflix because they've done nothing for me lately.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to spend 18 billion on content, like, oh, look how good we're doing, while you're also raising your prices every 3 weeks, it feels like. I'm just
And
like,
cancel
how about
every
you spend
show.
12 billion and you give me £2 a month back?
It's they've got a lot of work to do to change the perception of, oh, this show gets cancelled after one season. Because
Do not fall in love with a Netflix original show, because if you get more than one season, you're fucking lucky.
yeah, like they need to start making some good stuff to
Do you know
change
what? Do you know how I view like Netflix's season ones? You know how like back in the old days of like traditional TV,
Mhm.
you'd have pilot season.
Yep.
So you'd have like 2 months in America where they would just play a bunch of fucking pilots.
Mhm.
Netflix are doing that, but instead of one episode to see what people like, they're doing that, and they're doing
For the
entire
season.
seasons.
Mhm.
They're building a fan base. People are like, oh, that was really good. I like that. And then they go, get fucked.
Yeah.
Great. Um, according to the Hollywood Reporter,
Oh,
after it
yeah.
was revealed that Broccoli called Amazon fucking idiots in reference to them pitching her a James Bond spin-off about Moneypenny, Jeff Bezos reportedly told Amazon execs to get rid of her, also stating, I don't care what it costs.
Somebody's ego got bruised.
I try so hard not to be pessimistic. I know I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more times. I try and look for the silver lining.
Hmm.
James Bond is one of my most beloved franchises. I have VHSs of all of the old Bond films. I've seen, I believe, all but 2 of them, going all the way back to Sean Connery in the beginning, right? I have so much love for James Bond as a character and a series. I have never been less excited for a James Bond film. And they've not even announced that one's like coming in a year or 2 years or 3 years. We don't know when the next one's going to be. And I'm already like, fuck, this is going to suck. And do you know what makes it suck even more? On Friday, I went to see Teddy Swims. And while sat there listening to him, in my head, I went, he would fucking murder a Bond theme. In my head, I was like, his voice would be phenomenal for a Bond theme. And then I had a moment of realization. I'm like, fuck, if he does a Bond theme, it's going to be for a shitty Amazon film, and he doesn't deserve that.
I mean, it
God
makes
damn you,
more
Jeff
sense
Bezos.
to why she walked away now, because she probably got told on the side, Bezos wants rid of you because of what you said, and he doesn't like. He's basically being like, you might as well walk away because he's gonna make this hell for you.
So
And
this is what we need to remember, because like the Bond IP is a weird IP. It's owned by her and the other dude, because they're of their families. And it's like kind of owned but not really. But their families negotiated creative control.
yes,
Brilliant bit of business from them to make sure that they could keep the character as it should be. They've been MGM and Amazon are working together, so now they are the distributor of James Bond, and they're going to make the James Bond films. That again is not a problem inherently. But Amazon want to turn James Bond into something it's not and have spin-offs for money penny
Yeah.
and shit like that. And as people who do genuinely care about the IP, Broccoli and co were like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. And after, I think, 4 years now of going, no, that's dumb, eventually at some point you've gone, they're fucking idiots and they don't get the character. Which I've said. Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos, throw a boatload of money at me. I've called you a fucking moron. And I don't blame her for when she sees the massive fuck off check going, what? Am I going to. Like, at this point, she cares about making films regardless.
Yeah.
Do I keep spending the next 10 years, 15 years of my life fighting to maybe not get anything made just to protect a character? Or do I accept this big fucking bag of money and then go somewhere where I have more control and I can actually get something made that I believe in? And
Well,
I
yeah.
don't blame her for at a certain point being so
Yeah.
worn down and just
Well,
going, I
this
can't
this
keep
is the thing. It's
fighting
like
it.
you can only shout at a brick wall for so long, and then it's like, let's be real. If she didn't take the check, Amazon is the sort of company that would then go, okay, we can't get rid of her by paying her off. Get the fucking lawyers on it. We're finding some way of taking this off them, which is then an even bigger hell of a pay. Like, it's just not. There comes, like you say, it comes a point where it's just not, the fight's just not worth it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we don't blame her. It's the fact that Jeff Bezos' ego is so weak that one person calling them fucking idiots has then made him go, oh, we got to get rid of her. Like, fuck's sake.
I don't think I'm overstating and saying I'm one of the most stubborn individuals most people would meet in their life. I know I'm a stubborn fuck. I have my opinions. I work on them, but I'm not willing to move normal unless you've got a really good point to make. I don't know how long again, as someone who fucking loves James Bond, would be able to fight and not get demoralized and eventually throw in the towel.
Well, yeah.
So I can't sit here going, "Oh, she should have fought the good fight and protected the character." 4 or 5 years is enough to wear anyone down.
Well, and you've also got to look at her perspective. If she wants to be making other stuff as well, like, she isn't at the point of her life where, like, got all the money they need, they're retired, they're not doing anything, like, they're just enjoying their life now. If you're in that position and you still have the control, you could just be like, you have nothing to offer me that I don't already have. I have all the time left now where I'm not doing anything. I will sit here and deny everything that you need to do. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're at this point in their life where, like, no, I want to go make other stuff. I don't want this being just like taking 50% of my time all the time because they're fucking idiots. Like, it's just not worth it anymore. Like, look, I'll take the check, I'll go make the things I want to make, and I wash my hands of James Bond. Like,
yeah, it sucks so much, but I've no one to blame other than Jeff Bezos. He doesn't care. He's got more money than God. Although stock market's tanking, he's lost 30 billion in the last month and a half. Get fucked, wanker. I've never lost 30 billion in my life. You'd never catch me losing 30 billion. Chump.
That has to be a clip this week.
The Russos aren't worried about set leaks for Doomsday, as apparently they have a plan.
Did you see the amount of memes that came out of this?
No, I didn't.
So this obviously came out in, like, an interview or whatever, and on Twitter, so many fucking memes were made, and it's like, Russo brothers, we have a plan, the plan, and it was Kevin with a sniper on a building. There was, like, so many like that, where it's just like some meme of Kevin doing something.
I love the idea that they genuinely think they're going to stop set leaks. I don't want them to shoot everything in a soundstage, and that is the only way they have a hope in hell of stopping set leaks.
Yes and no. Like, it depends how strict they want to be with stuff.
Unless they're filming everything in a desert, like, they can't film anything on location in a city and have any, like, they can't film a damn thing in New York City and expect there not to be a set leak.
Don't get me wrong, certain cities it gets harder. it all comes. Let's be honest. It all comes down to how strict they want to be and how much money they want to spend. Because if they really want to be like locked down, they will build a 10-foot high wooden wall in the middle of a street to block the view of the set. If they really wanted to, like
Do you
they
know what I
could,
mean? I'll be amazed if they pull it off.
like if they
Amazed.
if they really wanted to have like a street and block off any track, you just build scaffolding at both ends, put sheeting down it. No one can see what's going on the street. But are they going to be able to do that? Who knows? It's
I
more
mean, I'd like to
likely
point out.
they're just going to
Go on.
block stuff or be very quick on like
Okay.
if they
Let's
see
put this in a bit of
someone-
context, right? I don't know if you saw this, and it wasn't on the news. There was a concept artist who leaked a bunch of concept art for this
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Yes, that website got taken down and DMCA'd and obliterated by the Marvel lawyers. It still took 2 hours,
Oh yeah.
and once it's on the internet, it's on the
Oh, no,
internet
yeah.
forever. Like, and this is the thing, yeah, they will probably do a phenomenal job. And I think Marvel have always done a phenomenal job stopping set leaks. Bearing in mind, for a long time, how popular Marvel films were and everyone in the world wanted to see what was going on. I think they always did a very good job of limiting set leaks. But going, we're not worried, we have a plan, just feels like famous last words for the entire film to get leaked on the internet a month before release.
Yeah, or they're gonna purposefully like
Just fake leaks.
Well, fake leaks or have stuff that's like clearly that they're making very little effort to cover what they're shooting because whatever it is they're shooting is completely pointless. Because then they know people are gonna be like, oh my god, set leaks, and it's like all that shit's pointless. Meanwhile, 2 streets over, they're filming the actual shit they need to.
Do you think they're going to make 3 fake films while recording the film so people don't know what's real or not?
Like, that
Look,
wouldn't
I'll be
surprise me if
amazed.
there's stuff like that where they're just filming far more than they ever need, purely just to throw off people.
Maybe, but I just love the confidence.
Yeah.
Once again, there is an attempt being made to bring beloved horror game series Resident Evil to the big screen. This next attempt is due to come out in 2026, and with a quote, more faithful and horror focused take on the franchise. I want nothing more than a good Resident Evil film.
I think many people do.
I would also be remiss to not mention that in the last few years we've had a lot of very successful and very good gaming to film adaptations or
We
TV
have.
show adaptations. I'm not sure I'm willing to start huffing the copium that they're going to pull it off this time, though.
I'm not gonna huff the copium. If
I'd
you
be
turn
very
around-
happy if they pull it off, though.
Turn around and tell me, oh, A24 is making this or something, or like, and the writer that worked on the Fallout TV show, like, or like, there's people that have worked on other video game stuff that did well, and then you've got like some studio or something that's really good at making horror. I'm like, okay, we might be on the right track here. But yeah, I'm not gonna.
I mean, maybe it's not a bad idea for them to maybe work with someone like Bloomberg, who did like the Five Nights at Freddy films and have always
Yeah.
done lowish budget horror films pretty successfully. Maybe that's the kind of production company that has like the right pedigree and skills to make it work. But
Yeah.
it'll make a fuck ton of money because so many people want a good Resident Evil film that they'll be like, okay, I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's been a while that people will be like, oh, maybe this is the one. And
So here's the thing, though. I think a lot of like diehard fans would like them to adapt to the earlier games, but I think some of the newer games, like Resident Evil Biohazard and Village, have such a good story that would be a lot easier to potentially try and adapt.
well, this like this then becomes the thing though. They do one of the stories already told in the games, or like Fallout, just keep it in the world and tell something new.
Maybe.
It's like there's
That
plenty.
can also work if they do it well.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the Umbrella Corp's always doing dodgy shit.
Yeah.
Just what else have the Umbrella Corp been up to? What are
Exactly.
concepts for games that they decided to go a different way with? Like,
mhm.
New photo of Edgar Wright on the set of Running Man. It's not news, but I am excited. Or every time I've seen an update about this Running Man film, I have included it in the news.
have.
I'm not going to stop. It's just a picture of him with lots of cameras and like set-esque stuff being set up on a knee, clearly looking at something important that's happening.
Right.
But we just get a picture of him. I'm going to be unbearable when this film comes out, and you're all going to have to suffer through it with me. I cannot wait. I have really high hopes for this film. Even if I hate it, I might just lie forever and say I loved it. Who knows? But I'm excited. Sue me. Um, as if I couldn't love Andor anymore, right? Tony Gilroy has said they won't be releasing the Andor scripts publicly because he doesn't want them to be used to train AI. And I quote, "Why help the fucking robots any more than you can? And ain't that a fucking way to live?"
Do you remember that this has come about because originally they were going to be releasing the
Yes.
scripts? Yeah.
They were going to release him in like a nice book or something,
Yeah,
weren't
they
they?
were going to do it as a book because people
Which
were like,
also
looked
would
at...
have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would have been.
Another reason
People
to hate AI.
people loved them so much, and people love collecting scripts for films and stuff. So it's like, it would have been super cool. The same way that I like collecting the art books. But yeah, I am so on board with the fact that they're like, yeah, fuck that. We're not helping AI. We're not going to give you content to scrub.
And let's be honest, it's some of the best written stuff of the
Well,
last maybe like
yeah,
10, 15 years.
and especially for like Star Wars, like some of the best writers. It's like, oh, ChatGPT needs to get better at writing sci-fi stuff. Let's scrub Dune Part 2, Andor. Like, you can, there's a few films and shows recently where they're like, oh, they'd be perfect to scrub and learn from. So why give them the content to do it? So,
And like he said, it's not going to stop them being able to do it, but it does make it harder.
yeah, well,
because they can scrub the dialogue, but they won't be able to get any of like the prompts in the scripts for the actors as easily and stuff like that. Next up,
I have watched this.
Yes, so Lilo and Stitch trailer is here. The live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
I am normally a hater of animated to live action films from Disney.
As am I.
I think they don't serve a purpose. I think largely they're creatively bankrupt. Cash grabs just to keep their IP valuable. Having said that, I kind of fuck with this one. I don't know why. I was watching the trailer. I was like, oh, it's kind of what I want it to be. It's kind of Itch being a little gremlin.
This is the thing. So watching the trailer, I think they've done a great job at bringing Stitch to life and matching that his mind, like, and giving that chaos that Stitch should have. It's still, I don't know. I'm still in the boat of, why do we need a live action version of everything? Like, either just make another animated thing if you need to keep the IP alive, or if you're gonna do live action, do something new. You're just retelling the same story. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's such a Disney's thing now is just, oh, what's an animated film we haven't done a live action version of? Right, let's add that to the list. That's next up. And it becomes this thing of like, okay, Disney, you stop creating new stuff now. You're just rehashing the old stuff in live action, which is a very hit and miss.
Well, do you remember like maybe 10, 15 years ago, the joke was there was nothing new in the cinema, it was all just sequels. Now there's nothing new in the cinema, it's all just live action remakes or animated remakes. Normally live action PlayStation. Remakes. Hey, you stole my joke.
I did.
But and like, yeah, 10, 15 years ago it felt like everything was a sequel. But at least it was a new story.
Yeah.
Now we are just getting the same story and it's brought to live action, and it's not even really live action because half the characters are going to be completely CG'd in anyway. So what are we talking about? Like the one that always bugged me was the live action Lion King. What you mean where every single animal is complete CGI? What do you even mean? It's just an inferior version of the same film.
Like, oh, cool, you shot some landscape shots and then just filled it with CGI animals. But yeah,
But having said all that, this one does seem better, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've not seen Lilo and Stitch in so long. It felt maybe a bit more new to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've just got better at doing CGI characters with live action actors, like, and actresses. Like, that's just got better because tech's got better. they also have learnt from other films' mistakes like Sonic of don't try and redesign the character, keep them a bit more like closer and more faithful to the actual character because that'll upset people. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks fine, and Stitch looks fun. Like, they've got the vibe right. I'm just kind of sick of Disney just doing live action versions.
If they hadn't released any other live action remakes of films and they just released this, I feel like I'd be very excited.
I'd definitely be more
But because
excited.
they've done so many of them, I don't believe in the practice.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, yeah, it looks cool, but I kind of feel like morally I shouldn't go and see it, but I kind of want to, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Tricky one. And then news as we were getting ready to record.
Yes.
Sadie Sink from Stranger Things,
Yes, from Stranger Things.
yeah, has joined the Spider-Man 4 cast.
She has.
Rumors are circulating already
Of
that she's
course.
either playing Jean Grey or, more controversially, more ironically, Mary Jane Watson. If they've set Zendaya up as Michelle Jones this entire time, so she's still MJ, made us all fall in love with the idea of Spider-Man and his MJ, and also Tom Holland and Zendaya, just to then, in the fourth film, give us an actual Mary Jane Watson, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. However, there is a better theory.
Okay.
Apparently, this film is still a multiverse film.
Potentially.
People are huffing copium that she may be Mayday Parker from the Raimi universe, as in Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst's daughter, who ends up in our universe.
I'm trying to think, like, visually, does that make visual sense? And it kind of does.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of fuck. There is also another popular theory that famously everyone who's ended up playing Gwen Stacy was a redhead when they got cast and then was blonde for the film.
That's a strange
Yeah,
coincidence.
it's a very weird, and everyone's like, they're
Imagine.
following the pattern.
Imagine. They know what works, so they must continue it.
And Gwen Stacy, I have less of an issue with.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, they let her be Gwen Stacy and not Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the rumors around this film is somewhat, multiversal. It's going to be he's interacts with all the characters we know are going to be in Doomsday, and it's going to obviously then end up tying into that. It's like,
I have no idea what this film's going to be. All I know is I'm going to be seated because it's Spider-Man and that motherfucker's going to get my money for a ticket every fucking time.
it'd be interesting if I don't understand. I don't get how they could do Jean Grey, unless obviously
Yeah, I
the
don't.
multiverse.
I don't know what's going on there.
Post credit,
Maybe
show us the X-Men world again. That's all she's in for, just the post credit.
do you cast someone and make such a big deal of
No.
it just for a post-credit scene?
Of course not.
This is the thing. I really, really don't know. It's cool to see some casting news. That's always exciting. But as always, whenever the MCU is involved, the second someone gets cast, it's who are they going to play? And four major options have been thrown out in the 40 minutes I've been looking on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm not sure I like or hate any of these. And that in reality, she's probably going to be none of them.
It's probably just some generic worker at the Daily Bugle because Spider-Man gets
She
his
is
job there.
unnamed classmate 4.
Yeah, well, yeah.